Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I am at Kleiner Park today. It is an interesting day in Idaho today. We've had a bunch of forest fires pretty close to us, so it's really super smoky outside. It's in the 80s. I'll put all that up on the screen right now, UAV forecast and air aware, showing you my exact location. However, so it's not a terribly, the point I guess I'm trying to make is it's not a terribly scenic day to fly a drone. I've got the DJI Mini 4 Pro, and there's some interesting things. We recently got a firmware update for the DJI RC2 controller, and then also the Fly app was updated. So the controller, it just said fixed known issues, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But the number is, and I'll put that up on the screen, is version 02.02.0300 is the latest firmware version for the DJI RC2. I know the original DJI RC got an update, as did the RC Pro, but we're talking about the RC2 today and the Mini 4 Pro. We also got a Fly app update, so there's a story that goes with that as well. When you update to the latest version of the firmware, this 0300 version, it rolls back the Fly app version to 1.13.09. Well, the most current version is 0.10. Well, I've seen other videos where people saying, oh yeah, it rolls it back and yada yada, and you gotta go in and manually update it. Well, not in my case. As soon as it was done for the update for the controller itself, that 0300 update, as soon as I fired it back up, it immediately asked me to update the Fly app. So it then updated it to that 0.10 version of the Fly app. Now, what am I hoping for? So one of the things with, particularly with the Mini 4 Pro, is I've noticed that the attitude indicator in the bottom left, I fly, instead of with the map, I like using the attitude indicator. Man, it's jumpy, it's moving all around. Well, it doesn't really affect your flying that much, but it is annoying, right? It's always distracting you. You're seeing that thing jumping around on the screen, and it looks like the drone is, you know, jumping back and forth, and it's not. It's just an issue, I believe, well, with the app or maybe the firmware on the controller, I don't know. But I'm hoping that they've corrected that. So it's not a very scenic day to be flying today, but we're gonna go up and fly anyway. You're gonna see a bunch of smoke. You're not gonna see a lot of anything. But we're gonna fire the little Mini 4 Pro up. We're gonna take it up at the park here. We'll fly around a little bit, and we'll see if we can see any changes that it may have done with the controller and with the app, and we'll go from there. Hey, let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Hey, okie dokie, I've got a screen recorder started and everything fired up. We're ready to take off here. We've got it set to 4K 60. I think I'm gonna change that to 30 frames per second, because I got some ideas for some other stuff we might do here. So changing that to 4K 30. Let's look at the safety menu real quick, and you can see, click on safety, the safety tab. I've got bypass on, obstacle avoidance, radar map on, of course, optimal return to home. Return to home altitude 35 meters, which is perfect for where I'm at here, probably a little bit high. AR settings, all of those are on. I like leaving those on. Altitude 120 meters, that's max legal, no limit on distance. Compass is normal, IMU is normal. We'll look at the battery, and of course that's good. So we're ready to go here. I do have a little bit of bad news. If you're looking like me at that attitude indicator in the bottom left, it's already jumping around, so and the drone is just sitting on the ground, so I have a feeling that they may not have corrected that, but what the heck, let's go ahead and take off here, and we're going to do a little flyabout. So starting recording right now. And let's just do a takeoff. Let's do an auto takeoff on the app. I like doing that. Holding that button down.
Takeoff.
And there you see the little drone. We're going to go up 7 meters high and see if we can see if it'll find that landing pad when it comes back. And I always like trying a precision landing. And now, again, I look at precision landing as pretty much a parlor trick, really, but it's still a lot of fun, and that's why I do it. I love the technology that they put in these drones. Okay, we've got obstacle avoidance on, and you probably hear it beeping in the microphone here. I usually do my wiggle. I like to show that gimbal is working as it should. It's just amazing to me how it keeps the video so steady. And when you watch the drone moving around, it's always interesting to me to see. And one of the things that I always do in my videos, if you're new to my channel, is I always do a droney first, a manual droney just on the sticks. So let's do that right now. Reverse and up. And we're going to look like we're pretty close to those trees. We're not really. We're quite a bit higher, but yeah, there you go. Let's go out across the street here. Grab a little more altitude. There's a field out here. Drop that camera down. Well, that's a little bit too far. But there you can see where I'm at. Looks like, what do we got going on down here? Looks like they're working on the, are they working on the sign? So again, anybody that watches, yeah, they are. They're working on the sign there, aren't they? One of the things that I often do on my channel is, in fact, let's just do the old, well, we can get a little closer here. I don't want to get too close. Let's do the old digital zoom, and let's zoom in and see what he's got going there. Yeah, what's he doing there? So I often fly through that hole in the CarMax sign. Obviously, we're not going to do that right now. I can't tell what he's doing. Is he repainting, or I'm not sure. Anyway, just something to see, right? We ought to fly through there. Nah, I'm not going to do that. That would be funny, though. Not going to do it, though. That's not who I am. Okay, let's pick this drone up, and I'm just going to go on a little bit of a flight here, and I can tell you almost instantly, you see that the way the compass is jumping around and so forth. They didn't correct that. So I just wonder, you know, that's something that's, why is that, you know, obviously we all see it. Why doesn't DJI see that? And why don't they fix it? There's got to be a reason, because it didn't used to be that way. That was usually pretty stable, and almost any other drone, often even on, shoot, I fly toy drones, and I always put the attitude indicator up, and they're pretty stable. So even, you know, we all love DJI, but even DJI is not perfect, is what that'll tell you. I'm just kind of doing a manual orbit around this, around the sculpture here, out by the pond and the senior center. And yeah, there's nothing like DJI flight controls to be able to do this kind of stuff. Although I will say, I have seen that attitude indicator a lot more jumpy than it is right now, so I guess they have corrected it to a certain degree. So, so let's pick the drone up here. And I want to show you, I was complaining about the smoke, and you can see, you can't even see the Boise foothills off in the distance there. So pretty crazy. It's and I know it's probably not terribly healthy to even be out here, honestly. So so let's get down over the pond here, and I got something that I want to try, and I think we have enough battery power still to do it. Yeah, we're at 83%. So I'm going to get this guy down here. I'm going to click on the little right above where the histogram is. You see on my screen recorder, that little squiggly line, that is for waypoints. And I had a waypoint mission that I had loaded in here from way back. So let's see, I'm going to click on the 3 dots. No, add a waypoint. I know I had a mission that I thought that I had. Maybe that was in the, that could have been the Mini 3. Oh, I need to click, I think, on that left side there. Let's see what that says if we click on that. Yeah, look, yeah, okay, so I got one there. Okay, so I'm gonna click on that mission. Yeah, so it did load it. It loaded it there. So yeah, we got that, and it's so we're going to click next, and we are going to click go. And I don't even remember where this thing goes, but I remember it was right here at the park when I did it. So let's see. This is going to be a surprise to all of us. We'll be able to see where it starts that waypoint mission at. Yeah, so it looks like it's already, it says 2 of 17, so did it already, yeah, maybe it had already started. Or maybe the first, you know what, I don't remember. So this is probably going to the first waypoint right now, I bet. Yeah, it is, 1 of 17, so it's at the first waypoint. So now it'll head to the second one. Yeah, well, and again, we've got plenty of battery power to do this, and that'll give us a chance to, again, to look at that. Yeah, this is interesting. See, I don't remember when I remember doing this, but I don't remember everything I had set up. And look, I've got it dropping the camera down there. But looking at this grove of trees. But again, it's interesting to look at the attitude indicator, and you see it kind of shaking around there. I will say this, there's no doubt in my mind it was much worse before, so I think they've kind of fixed it to a large degree. It still shakes a little bit, but I think it's much better than it was.
Approached edge of altitude.
Yeah, so it's funny, this is kind of coming back to me now. I had it set up where it did a point of interest on the fountain, and it did a loop around the fountain. So that's kind of the cool thing about waypoint missions is, hey, you might have forgotten what it was, and you can go refly it again. I think my intention was, when I originally set that up, I wanted to show the park at different times of the year. Well, here we are in midsummer and lots of smoke in the air, etc. And yeah, so what you see is what you get is what you see right now, because it is not terribly scenic. You feel like you can cut the air with a knife, and again, I know it cannot be terribly healthy either. Yeah, so we got 17 waypoints. It's only it's heading to number 8 right now. So I could bring up the map, and that would probably show us the waypoint mission on there, but I kind of want to. I want to be surprised. Again, I think it was probably, it was probably a year ago when I'm trying to remember when this drone came out, but it was some time ago when I originally set this waypoint mission up. Had to kind of re-educate myself on where to find the save mission too, but it's just right there when you click on the little, looks like a book on the left-hand side of the waypoint menu. Yeah, I think I'm kind of remembering this. I think my intention was to fly along these trees here, but it looks like, yeah, we're more kind of in the street rather than over the top of the trees. And I think the intention of that was, because I think I did it in the fall, I was trying to show the fall colors. But we got a ways to go here. This is fun. Nice little waypoint mission. So that said, I don't see any big changes in the app here. If we got a chance, we can look through the menus real quick, but I'm not seeing anything dramatic in what we see on the main FPV screen here. It all looks normal. There was one of those updates. Oh yeah, we're going down, I call this Broadway, the kind of the main walkway through the park. So we're going through that right now. But I think I lost my train of thought. I'm an old man, so forgive me for that. I was going to make a point about the drone, but anyway, like I said, I don't see any changes to the big changes to the app. We'll go through the menus as soon as this thing is done with its waypoint mission. And we're at about 15 of 17, so it's got to be just about done. Makes me wonder, what did I do here? Probably took it almost back to its starting point is how it's looking at, because this is right about where we started. So, yep, 17 of 17, so it is there. No, okay, so it's flying to the 17th right now. And it's slowed way down. Yeah, so that is it. So that's it. So it ended right there. Well, that was kind of fun, wasn't it? Okay, so we're going to get out of that. Okay, click on that again. We are going to save and exit because, well, actually I can exit without saving because I already have that loaded. So I'm going to exit without saving. And let's pick up that camera again, and I'll get you a look at the, well, what you would think is the Boise front, but it's so smoky that you can't even see the mountains from here. Normally you'd be looking at the mountains and Bogus Basin Ski Resort, etc. up there. But let's click on the three dots in the upper right, and let's look through the menus. We kind of already went through the safety menu, so really didn't see any changes there. So let's look on control. Do we see anything there? Object scanning, focus track settings, gain and expo tuning. Well, let's click on gain and expo so you can yeah, so you can see where all the settings are at. That's something that that I will probably looks like I got pretty much everything maxed out. Yeah, actually my yaw smoothness, I like that at 20. That's good. And I've got really fairly high brake sensitivity, so yeah, all of that looks pretty good, but I don't see any big changes there. And I don't think it changed my previous settings. So here's the expo settings right here. I know Billy Kyle just did a video on that if you want to do that. And then your gimbal, the control speed, 15 degrees per second. That's good enough. So I'm going to get out of, we're going to get out of that and go back to that menu. I don't see anything different here. Stick mode button customization. Let's take a look at that, see if there's anything new. I don't see anything new there. So, okay, let's flight tutorial if you want to do that. There you can repair the aircraft if you want. Let's go to camera. And we looked at that earlier and I didn't see anything different. Yeah, we're in good shape. So I'll explain peaking level. If you're in manual focus, you can set that, and when you see those red lines, what it'll do, it'll show red lines on the screen, and that is what is in focus at that time. So if you want to do manual focus, you always want to turn on peaking, and that will help you make sure that everything stays in focus. But anyway, enough of that. Let's go into transmission here. I don't see any differences there. So here's the about page, and you can see the firmware that we're on, and just like we talked about, the RC is on 0300, and we did update the fly safe, and you can see the app version is 1.13.10. So yeah, no big changes in the app there that I can see. So at this point, I think we ought to, we still got 49% battery. Let's run this guy out here a ways, and let's do a, we'll just do a return to home. And let's see if we can, in fact, let's throw it in sport mode. Let's get it in gear here. Let's see how fast we can get this guy up to. Just kind of fun. And again, I'm looking at that attitude indicator. It's shaking around a little bit, but you know what? I think I can say that it's not shaking as much as it used to. It used to really wobble all over the place, so it's not too bad now. So we're up to 16 meters per second. That's the max speed. That's about 35 miles an hour or so, something like that. So that's pretty quick for a little mini drone. So we get out here, and by the way, I'm faced away from the drone, so I'm going to turn around here and face towards it, and that helped me a lot. And we're really right on the edge of control here, because we are only 36 meters high. I'm going to go ahead and put it back into normal mode, but I will tell you this, that when you put the drone in return to home, it automatically reverts to normal mode and would turn your obstacle avoidance back on. So I'm going to hit return to home on the app, and I'm going to hold my finger down on that button that says return to home. If I hit land, it would just land in place. We don't want that. We want it to come home. So, so there we can see it turning around here. And of course we got that AR return to home coming back to us here, and it's coming straight. And as you recall, we had the return to home height set at 35 meters, so that's almost exactly where we're at now, anyway. But what'll happen is the drone, when it gets pretty close to us, it will start dropping in altitude. In other words, it won't wait until it gets right over its home point before it drops in altitude. And I'm dropping the camera down here. Let's get to the rule of thirds so we can see a little more. Because of it, it can take advantage of obstacle avoidance. You know, it'll miss a tree or whatever. It starts dropping in altitude before it comes home. And the other advantage that optimal return to home has is it will take the most direct route, and it can maneuver around obstacles in its way. So the point of it is to try and kind of save battery power, etc. Although we're not worried about that. We're still at 39%. And I've had the screen recorder going for 21 minutes, so this guy's got plenty of flight time. So with regard to this firmware update for the controller, I really don't, and the app, I don't really see a lot of difference. I was hoping we'd have a well, look at the way that attitude indicator is bouncing now, and I know the drone isn't bouncing like that, so that's kind of weird. You would think DJI could fix that, but anyway, I was kind of hoping that would get fixed, but it doesn't appear to be the case. Although, if that's the worst defect I can find with this drone, we're doing pretty damn good, I'll say that. And I'm dropping the gimbal down as we get closer so that we can see. I've got the gimbal pointed straight down, and you know, the drone didn't really drop much in altitude as we came back. It started landing at about 31 meters high. Let's see if it sees that. It's kind of close. You can see the drone shadow now. Oh yeah, it's zeroing in right on the pad. So we're going to get a precision landing here. Yeah, on the pad. I am quite sure. It picked up the camera, so it's in landing mode now. And there you can see on the camera, it's right on the H there. It's a little bit forward of the H, but I'd say that's pretty good. Okay, let's stop recording, and I'll shut off the screen recorder too. Okay, let me get everything shut down, and we'll do a quick conclusion. Hey, okay, so the DJI RC2 and the DJI Mini 4 Pro, we took them up, and you know, that was just kind of a fun flight, really, because it turns out that firmware update for the RC2, I don't know what it fixed, but it didn't fix anything that I could see, and it didn't seem to change anything in the app. We looked through all the menus on the app. I didn't see any big changes. If you did, let me know in the comments. You know, as usual, the drone just flies awesome. But it was interesting, particularly when we were doing the return to home there, Man, that attitude indicator went wild. It was, if you were to believe the way that attitude indicator was jumping around, the drone would have been doing this, right? And it wasn't that radical, so that was really odd. And you would think that that would be something that, that DJI could correct. But it was a fun flight. We got to try out, you know, I had that Waypoint mission loaded in here, and we threw that in there, and it was fun for me because I forgot where that waypoint, where it even set the drone to go. But the drone just executed the waypoint mission just perfectly. And then we took it out and did a return to home, and we got a precision landing on a square landing pad. So, so there you go. In any case, I guess that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I absolutely appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And of course, we'll see you on the next one. The DJI Mini 4 Pro and the DJI RC2 controller. See you guys later.